Okay, you guys, here we go. This is from our director training that we did yesterday about building resilience. Let me screen share and I'll get started. Let me share the sound.
Hey guys, I am ridiculously excited about today. This we've been doing these holistic women Zooms over the last year, so this is actually our
Did you
11th
hear
one.
that?
We've done everything from, increasing your prayer life all the way to, fiscal responsibility to health and wellness. And so this is just something that's a big heartbeat for me because it's always been my mode, because I know that when, like, Linda Tupin would always say, how you run your life is how you run your business. And so I know that I cannot separate myself or yourself from your business, right? So if you have a terrible, horrible day, it's kind of hard to like walk into an appointment, and be like, hey, everybody, so it's really great to have all these different components of yourself to be at as highest level health as possible. So today, I have invited Joe and Scott to be on today to talk about resilience, and I'm crazy excited about this because I've never heard anything about resilience. I know there's books about it. I'm sure there's podcasts about it. I've never heard any of them or read any of them. So thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to see already 33 of you are on Zoom, and we're Zooming this to Facebook as well. And so I want to officially to recognize Scott and Joe on an official level. But Joe is a very, very loving husband and best friend to his wife, Leah. And he is the father of 7 at the moment, but he has 8 at any moment right now. She is due, and that baby is ready. So to 7 or 8 earthly children, and to one heavenly child, Alex, who is forever 25, and a grandfather of 6. He is the founder of 2 Evolve Coaching and Consulting, and is business partners with Scott McKinley. Joe is the former director of operations and the only in-house coach for the Augmandino Group, where he learned to deftly apply the principles of the greatest salesman, coupled with the teachings of Dr. Robert Hart. Now, Scott, who you just saw on, is a certified. All right, we're going to have to mute some people. We are getting some. Hey, Judy, can you just go through and mute people? Or if you're not muted, if you could mute, that'd be great. So Scott is a certified law of attraction practitioner and habit finder coach, and he's been helping professionals and individuals achieve their goals since 2007. So that's quite a few years. With a passion for public speaking, I will say whenever he speaks, you listen to every word that he says. And he has a unique approach that really blends humor and real life experience. He's kind of become a go-to coach for those looking to improve their habits and reach new heights of success. They are both licensed facilitators for the Augmandino Leadership Institute, a multi-million-dollar training and coaching company. And right now they have spent the last 15 years connecting with over 15,000 entrepreneurs and direct selling professionals, assessing them and gathering imperative info while personally building a massively successful business. The cumulative result of this connected research is that they found numerous specific challenges that hold entrepreneurs and direct sales folks back, and they've been able to disseminate, decipher, and distill this information into several key things that hold them back. Basically, what that means is they work with direct sell folks and entrepreneurs all the time, and they know the typical things that hold people back in those professions. So today, they're going to share with us a little bit more about the idea of resilience. And this is something that we have seen, in our lifetime, that is, we have like bounce back baby and, stick with itness and all of that. But there's something different today about the need to really develop that skill. So God, so excited to have you. I will bring you on. And then Joe, do we have Joe? Is Joe on? Yeah, Joe is on. Yay! Oh my gosh, we're all together. I am so excited about this. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for what you're going to pour into us. Most of us are familiar with Joe and Scott, but I just want to personally say that Joe really was someone that really helped me cross the line in developing a national area. He's been a consistent friend, really a mentor to me, and has a voice that just soothe you. I don't know how to say it. Whenever I talk to Joe, it's like everything's going to be okay. So anyway, Scott, I'm sure you probably recognize that as well. So I'll let you guys
Absolutely.
take it away.
Well, I'm not going to say too much more for intros. I just want to really greet you guys. So I'm going to start off with just saying good afternoon, or I think it is noon there now. It's 11 o'clock here. It's so, so good to be with a group of women who get it. Like you guys are here because you get something right out of learning. And you know what it means to build a business from grit, grace, and a whole lot of figure it out as you go. And if no one's told you yet, we really, really believe in what you do. What you're doing really matters to the world, to your families, to us. We really care about what you're doing. And so take that on for yourself. I'm here today to talk about something that doesn't really get near enough attention in direct sales or really in any business, and that's resilience. And I have to tell you, as I wrote this, and Scott and I both wrote it together, both of us were like, we needed this. so so if you see any tears come out from either one of us, it'll be because we work through this stuff too, right alongside of you. And so I'm happy to be able to present this to you. Um, and that's resilience. So not the kind of look that looks good on a quote graphic, but the kind that gets you out of bed on the days that your goals feel heavier than your motivation. Anybody ever been there before? Like your goals are worse than your energy? Let me ask you something. Have you ever had a day or maybe a week where everything you were building felt like it was falling apart? You're showing up, doing the work, but the rejections just stack up. And team's energy is low, and self-doubt start whispering, maybe I'm not cut up for this. If you've been there, or if you are there right now, you're not alone. And more importantly, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just in the gap between inspiration and transformation. And I really love that. Think about that. Inspiration, transformation, and that vacillation point. Scott and I just had a conversation earlier today about this. It can be really difficult because during that point, you can feel like nothing you're doing is working, but it is working. And you got to give yourself credit for that. Okay. And then what bridges that gap? It's resilience. Resilience is not just about pretending everything's okay, it's about being okay even when everything isn't. It's about the ability to rebound, recenter, and recommit, even when the roads get bumpy. So let's talk about why this matters. Why is becoming resilient such a game changer, not just in business, but in every part of your life? Because here's the truth. In direct sales, you're not just building a business, you're building yourself. Every rejection, every no thank you, every teammate who ghosts you, every goal you didn't hit on the first try, it's not just a test of your skills, it's a test of your spirit. Motivation will get you started, but it's resilience that keeps you going when motivation leaves the chat. Think about that. You've got to continue to keep on going. And I've been teaching keep on keeping on for a long, long time. You got to keep going. In fact, I'd argue that resilience, staying consistent, is your greatest business asset. It's not your compensation plan. It's not your product line. It's not even your team. Because when you're resilient, you can rise in any season. I remember a time when I had 3 back-to-back cancellations and I had a whole event flop, like completely just go away. In fact, we've had a couple of those. I was questioning everything. And I remember sitting in my car frustrated thinking, what's wrong with me? Let me tell you, if you think that thought, your subconscious is going to answer. So it's best to not go there. But what I realized in that moment was this: nothing was wrong. I just hadn't built the muscles to bounce back yet. See, no one teaches you how to bounce back when your mentor is unavailable, or when your family doesn't understand what you're doing, or when your energy is gone, but your goals are still staring at you. But if you can learn to recenter instead of retreat, to rebuild instead of replay your doubts, that's when you become unstoppable. Because resilience doesn't mean you'll never fall. It means you don't stay down. You get up faster, wiser, stronger. That's what we're here to build today.
So if resilience is something that we can build, and Joe and I both believe that it absolutely is, then it helps to understand what is it that breaks down our resilience. So there's a lot of things that chip away at it, but what Joe and I want to focus on today is just 4 hidden causes that we see all the time, and not just in women growing businesses like this. We see it a lot here, but in a lot of the clients that we work with. And these things that chip away at us, they don't always show up loud, but they definitely run deep. And that's something that Joe and I are, if you know us and if you've worked with us, we're really good at finding those deeper things that just can quietly drain your energy or suck away your confidence and inevitably the ability to bounce back. So, the first thing, and I want you guys to write these down, and I want you to ask yourself, do I have any of this? Um, and if you've taken the Habit Finder assessment, you'll probably notice that there's some things that are on here. And if you've never taken our Habit Finder assessment, some of these things will show up. So the first thing, the first two things is perfectionism and comparison. Let's start with those two. Those two sneaky bully sisters that live around the block. They show up when you're scrolling someone else's highlight reel on Instagram, thinking, oh my gosh, she's crushing it. What's wrong with me? That's just that little voice that we hear. Or when you think, if I don't do this perfectly, then it's not going to work at all. And then what usually accompanies that? Well, then why should I even do it if it's not going to work at all? And so we start to get distracted with other things. Perfectionism says, I can't make mistakes. And comparison says, and I can't fall behind. Together, these bullies create a standard that's just so unrealistic that you're set up to fail before you even start. And can anybody relate to that? Resilience can't breathe in the same space as perfectionism because perfection doesn't allow for the mess, and resilience is built in the mess. The second thing is emotional exhaustion. Second two things, emotional exhaustion and isolation. Often it's evil twin isolation, so connected to exhaustion. Let's be honest, this business can be lonely, especially if you're the one cheering everybody else on, like so many of you here. That's what we do, but no one's really checking in on you. And you give and you give, and before you know it, your emotional tank is just completely bone dry. You hear us talking about filling our cup. What do we do to fill our cup? And why it's so important to fill our cup, especially for those of us in positions where we're just constantly giving from our cup. Resilience needs connection. And more importantly, it needs refueling. You weren't meant to pour out with being poured into. If you've tried, it doesn't mean you're weak. It just means you're human. And I think that that's something that so many of us just forget. We're human. We're these souls having these human experiences. We're not just directors or nationals or wives or mothers or daughters or friends. We're humans. And one of the bravest things that we can do for our resilience is ask for support before we snap. Because I know what it looks like when I don't ask for support. And Joe knows what it looks like when Scott snaps. And it's not pretty, but we're human. Okay, the third. This is a fun one. Creative avoidance. This is when you're busy all day, but you're busy doing things that just doesn't move the needle at all. You redesign your Canva graphics or you reorganize your desk. We've all had those days, right? We color code the books on our desk or on our bookshelves. We color code our calendar. We do everything except the thing that actually builds our business, like reaching out or following up, having real conversations. I used to say it's like working in the garage, working on your car and just revving the engine, tuning it up, fine tuning everything, checking the air, vacuuming the seats, but not just getting out on the road and just tearing it up. We don't do this because we're lazy. We do it because we're afraid. And what is it that we're afraid of? Failure, rejection, not being enough, not having the script memorized, not feeling as confident doing the thing that you've never done before that you're being asked to do. But here's the catch. Avoidance drains your confidence, but action is what builds it. So one simple brave step, taking action, can break the cycle. And I'm sure so many of you can relate to that, where you've found yourself, you caught yourself in that moment of avoidance and then reflected inward on what was driving that behavior. And it was a fear of failure. And then you took action. Then you picked up the phone and you did something to serve somebody else, and you immediately started to feel different. And that's what we mean when we say one simple brave step can just break the cycle. So the fourth is unrealistic expectations and then self-sabotage. The fourth hidden cause is just setting that unrealistic expectation and then punishing yourself when you don't meet it. Sounds like I should be further along by now. This shouldn't be this hard. If I don't hit this rank this month, then I'm failing. And when those expectations aren't met, then what follows? That's when we start to self-sabotage. We shut down, we pull back, or we convince ourselves that maybe I'm just not cut out for this. But the truth is, you didn't fail. You just set a standard that no real human could sustain. Resilience is about progress, not perfection. Consistency, not intensity. And it's about giving yourself grace in the process. And I know we throw that phrase around very liberally when it comes to other people. But how often do we allow ourselves, and we know we all have our reasons for not doing it, myself included. But what if we just allowed ourselves to have some grace too? So if you've seen yourself in any of these, perfectionism, exhaustion, avoidance, or unrealistic expectations, good. If you've noticed it, if you've seen yourself in that space, that means you're awake. And awareness is that first step towards resilience.
So now that we've looked at what chips away at your resilience, let's talk about how you can actually build it. Because here's the good news. Resilience isn't something you're born with or not. It's not reserved for the strong ones. It's not something you develop like a muscle. And just like physical strength, you don't build it all at once. You build it through consistent reps. So again, like Scott said before, let's write these things down. I think they'll be massively beneficial. I think you're recording too, so hopefully you can go back and listen to it and just be present and then write them down. Either way. Number one.
In the notes, people are making notes. That's good.
Yeah, yeah, and I've been answering. So if you want to take over answering and talking, you.
Good.
All right. So start with self-awareness. The foundation of resilience is self-awareness. You can't fix what you're not willing to face. Again, I was talking to another client earlier today. What you resist persists. What you look at disappears. So if you're thinking like, sometimes we can get caught in thinking that we're all perfectly balanced and everything's okay. And then my kids, all four at one time, walk through the door, and then I get shown to myself that I'm actually not all okay. Ask yourself regularly, what's draining me right now? Where am I avoiding discomfort? What story am I telling myself about this situation? Awareness doesn't mean judgment. It means honesty. And when you're honest about what's really going on, you stop spiraling and you start shifting. Second thing, and we've talked about this before on different conversations, use micro bounces to recover faster. Resilient people aren't superhuman. They just know how to bounce back faster. I call them micro bounces, small intentional resets that help you recover in the middle of the day, not 2 weeks later. A micro bounce might be a 60-second deep breathing reset before your next call. A quick text to your accountability partner. when you're spiraling, stepping away for 5 minutes instead of quitting for the day. When things get rough on me, no matter what's causing it, I'll go step outside, be near nature. I love listening to running water, things like that. Just take a moment and recover. Recovery is not a luxury, it's a skill. And the more often you bounce back, the stronger your resilience becomes. Think about a 60-second deep breathing reset, what I just mentioned. Think about square breathing. Most of you have heard that, and we teach that in our process. But just noticing your breath and sitting there for, you can start off with like 20 seconds. 4 seconds, breathe in, 4 seconds, hold, 4 seconds, breathe out, and 4 seconds, staying empty. And if you need to do that for longer times, do it. Some people start stressing out if they breathe and hold it for too long, but use it to something to clear your mind and focus on your breath. Go ahead.
As I said, those are the perfectionists.
Yep. The only reason I know that is maybe.
I know you guys have probably heard the square breathing stuff before, but mechanistically, when you understand what it is that's going on when it's not just a hippy dippy movement to try to put you in a place of Zen. It's actually to override this hijack that's taking place within we call it the survival brain, and to get that amygdala, which is robbing the prefrontal cortex of blood and oxygen. And for those of you who know the brain, the prefrontal cortex is where we process our thoughts. It's where we remember our training. It's where we are able to take the things that we've learned, we've invested time and money into personal growth. That's where that stuff is stored. And so when you can take those deep square breaths, it gets the blood back up to the prefrontal cortex. The Navy SEALs use it when they're in combat. They do square breathing. And so if it's good enough for them when they're wanting to remember their training in those moments where every step counts, it's going to work for you guys as well if you can remember to do it. So get a Post-it note. Get a tattoo like I did that just reminds you. Just control your breathing, baby.
Thank you. Okay, next one. Anchor to purpose, not just performance. When your goals are only tied to results, like a rank, a paycheck, or recognition, your resilience will always rise and fall with your performance. But when your goals are tied to purpose, you tap into something deeper. You remember why you started, who you're doing this for, the impact you're making, even when the numbers don't show it yet. Resilience grows when you're anchored to something bigger than the bad day you're having. Next one, build consistency with compassion. You don't need to hustle harder. We've always talked about working smarter, not harder. You need to be more consistent with more compassion. Set realistic daily non-negotiables that move your business forward, but give yourself grace when life gets messy. Remember, one wobble doesn't mean the whole day is a waste. You can restart anytime. Resilience is not about doing it all. It's about coming back to what matters. So if you want to build resilience, start small, start kind. Start where you are, because showing up imperfectly still moves you forward. And that's how strength is built. Okay, section 4. This is coming kind of close to the end here. Let's bring this full circle now, because resilience isn't just about how you run your business, it's about how you live your life. And here's the connection I want to make to you today. The more resilient you are in your personal life, the more powerful you become in your leadership. Everybody get that? The more resilient you are in your personal life, the more powerful you become in your leadership. You can't pour belief into your team if you don't have any left for yourself. You can't coach someone through discouragement if you're secretly drowning in your own. But when you build resilience on the inside in your habits, your mindset, your recovery, you lead from a place of overflow instead of emptiness. So important. That's why it's so important you guys take time out for yourself, fill yourself up. Make sure you're doing things that cause you to feel good so that you have enough to keep giving in the way you give. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Took my brain a little bit of time to come up with these, and so I hope they're pertinent to you all. Think about it this way. Your energy sets the tone. You're either a thermostat or a thermometer. The thermometer reacts to the room. It rises and falls with whatever's happening. But a thermostat sets the temperature. It leads and it influences. Resilient women lead like thermostats. They don't deny what's hard. They just don't let it define them. They feel it, face it, and then decide how to move forward. And when you lead from that place, your team doesn't just get direction, they get permission to be human, to struggle, to reset, and to rise. So don't underestimate the power of your own resilience. You become stronger doesn't just serve you. Becoming stronger. It inspires everyone connected to you. Scott, any closing thoughts there?
It's, you hear people talk about being present and what that really means. And it's one of the keys to being able to become resilient is just that moment to moment awareness of how you're doing. People that have worked with me, most people that have worked with me, we do an exercise where we say, find something in your house, go buy something. It's permission to go out and do some shopping and buy something that becomes an anchor to your awareness so you can be more resilient in the moment. And just how often do we stop and ask ourselves, how am I doing right now? Most of us just get up and we're go, 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 go. From the moment we get out of bed, running on a program where there's not a lot of intentional conscious thought. So we get up and we're running on a program and we get out of bed or we grab our phone and we run to the bathroom and we make our coffee and we jump in the shower and we get back out. And it's just a series of one event after another. And we're not even there for it. It's just happening. So if there can be those reminders, that anchor for your intention to just stop, be present, ask yourself, how am I doing? I think that's one of the important keys to developing the skill and the muscle of being resilient is just that learned ability to just be present and aware.
Well, let's all take a moment. Scott, I'd like for you to lead everybody in
Sure.
this breathing. And we'll count. We'll let Scott can count as he's going, or I can count. I don't know. What do you want to do a count to? I can do that.
No, I want you to breathe too, Joe. You got this coming up that I think
probably need that.
some deep
Go ahead,
cleansing
Scott.
breaths could be really good for. So everybody just kind of get yourself comfortable. Just get into a relaxed position. I'm going to just go ahead and sit crisscross applesauce because that's what I do. And I want you to just relax. And I want you to just close your eyes and just follow my voice. And I want you to inhale for 4 counts deeply through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're just going to hold that. 2, 3, 4. Now breathe out through your mouths. Big, deep belly. And now we're just going to pause. We're going to pause for 4 seconds and we're going to just take another deep breath in through your nostrils. 1, 2, fill up those lungs. 3, 4, hold it. 2, 3, 4. Again, out through the mouth. Let it out. Now, you can open your eyes. We don't do that enough. We don't intentionally breathe, but the breath is the thing that we can control. When we start focusing on breathing and counting the breaths, guess what happens to that voice that's always going in our head? We don't have the time to listen to it because we're focused on counting our breath. So if it's something that can can be a skill that you can develop to help with this, we encourage you, do it. Start doing it. Meditation doesn't have to be anything that is a scary thing. It's not. It's just learning to just breathe, not be attached to thoughts that might be connected to comparison or perfectionism or any of the things that we've talked about today, and can be a huge tool in helping you all develop the skill so you can be showing up in your businesses the way that not only you want to, but that your founder, Mary Kay Ash, encouraged you to show up to empower other people.
That's beautiful. I read somewhere a while back, not just for balance and peace, that most of us rush through life so much that most of us only fill about the upper third of our lungs at any point in time, constantly. So when you do those deep breaths, and you do them for even longer periods of time, you super oxygenate your lungs, your body, your brain. Everything gets better and gets more clear.
I read one of the comments from Mimi, who said that she does the breathing, she does square breathing at night to fall asleep. And I think that that's beautiful for those of us that struggle falling asleep sometimes. I read a thing that was very similar, and it talked about doing 5 rounds of square breathing and then counting backwards from 22. And I'll tell you, Mimi, I don't know if you experience this as well. Sometimes I don't even make it to the counting. I'm just out. Rest up.
Okay. So we've talked about why resilience matters, what breaks it down, and how to build it back up, not just as a business strategy, but as a way of life. Because becoming resilient isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more of you, the real you, the strong you, the imperfect but unstoppable you. So for those of you that struggle with perfection, remember, you're already born a perfect masterpiece of creation, which is in an imperfect process of life. And if we can start looking at those life experiences as things that just happen, not to us, but actually most of the time for us, it makes an amazing difference at how we kind of step over things.
That's a huge component. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, you're good.
It's always happening for you. When you can remember that, oh my gosh, we unlock so much. It's always happening for you.
I just wanted to make mention, we're not here to sell. We're not going to try to sell you anything. We're going to offer you a gift, though. Most of you have taken our assessment at some point in time. If it's been a long time since you've taken it, take it again. Just go to our website, toevolvecoaching.com, and you'll see little cues all over the place to take the free assessment. All you got to do if you took it before is just log back in as you, because then you can keep all your assessments in one place. But we get our knowledge and information by listening to people and then looking at that assessment, because it's the only thing out there that I've ever found that's truly objective and truly deductive. We don't try to tell you how to fix behavior patterns in your life. We help show you your thought processes that drive behavior patterns. So if you want to take the assessment, if you've never done it before, go to toevolvecoaching.com, take the assessment, absolutely free, and then we'll do a free consultation with you to help you debrief that. If you've taken it before and it's been a while, take it again. If you're somebody that's like in touch with us, but maybe not coaching with us, every 3 months you can go online, take the assessment, and you'll see little shifts and changes that have taken place in your life. Okay. So resilience isn't motivation. It's the muscle that keeps you going when motivation runs out. That's important to remember. Keep going. You got to keep going when there's only that will. I remember Julia spoke on the poem If one time. I think it was in 2018, but I'm not sure of the year. But, you know, Rudyard Kipling talks about when there's only the will left in you that actually says, hold on, even when you think you can't. The hidden causes of low resilience, perfectionism, exhaustion, avoidance, and unrealistic expectations can be healed with self-awareness and grace. If you know something's happening, then you can actually make a shift. And the way forward, micro bounces, purpose over performance, consistent action with compassion. So I want to leave you with this question, and then we're going to open up the call for questions if you guys have any.
Mhm.
And I invite you to write down, if you have a journal, write down the question or even the notes app on your phone. Where in my life or business do I need to rise again?
Hmm.
You don't need to answer that here. That's something to take with you. If you want to take us up on the assessment debrief, you could talk to us about that on that call. Remember, don't hustle harder. Not pretend that everything's fine. Just rise. Even if it's quietly, even if it's slowly. Your journey doesn't change in a day, but it can change with a decision. And I've talked to Julie about this years ago. There's a big difference between choices and deciding. When you decide to take action, when you decide you're going to make something happen, nothing else gets in the way. A decision is cutting off from everything else. So before you leave today, I challenge you, we challenge you to choose one resilient step. It might be reaching out to someone you've been avoiding, taking a break without guilt. If we had more time today, Scott could tell you this cool story from Mel Robbins, right?
Mhm.
About how guilty she was feeling for taking time off when she had told herself that she could take it off, but it's a little bit more detailed. But take a break. It's okay. Resetting your goals with grace, or just reminding yourself, I don't have to be perfect. I just have to keep showing up, because that's how resilience is built, one small decision at a time. So I thank you all for showing up today, not just to this room, but to your own growth. Your strength is not in how loud you roar, it's how quietly you rise and rise again over and over. You are becoming resilient, and that changes everything. I do want to tell you that I did a little worksheet for you guys to have. I'll send that to Julia. Julia, you can forward that out to everybody that attended. But it just helps you kind of maintain this stuff and gives you little steps to take. And then I'd love to open this up for any questions that you have. You can direct them to Scott or myself, or just open.
Yeah.
And Julia, if you have any thoughts about how you like this presentation.
I do. I do. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I want to say there's obviously so many people who are interested in this because we had so many people on live. Lots catch the recording, but there was a lot of people on live to hear you guys. So this obviously was something that we're
Okay, you guys, so that's it. I will post the link to do the assessment, and I will post the worksheet from this training. I hope you guys got something from it. I hope you take the time to re-listen and take notes and do all the things you need to do. Okay? Make it a great Wednesday. I know you can. And remember the square breathing. Remember the square breathing when you get frustrated. Okay. Let me stop the recording.